My name is Erin Ridley, and I'm the head coach of the U15 boys here at the San Jose Earthquakes. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee originally. I was a multi-sport athlete. I played soccer, of course. I played softball, basketball, tennis, swimming, cross-country, track. So a lot of different sports, but fell in love with soccer, and that was the one for me.
Like so many kids, Erin's introduction to the game came through family.
I started playing soccer at the age of 11, and my brother and I joke because my mom signed him up first, and he's younger than me, and of course I couldn't let my younger brother do anything competitively that he was doing that I wasn't doing.
In 1994, the United States hosted the Men's World Cup, which boosted the popularity of soccer around the country.
It wasn't long after that we had the 1994 World Cup here in the United States, and I was completely captivated. I was 11 years old for the 94 World Cup, and definitely fell in love with the U.S. team at that point and followed the game ever since.
Erin played as a goalkeeper, falling in love with the position early. She attended the University of Virginia, where she was part of the #1 recruiting class in the country. Unfortunately, during her time in Charlottesville, Erin suffered numerous injuries, which steered her in the direction of becoming a coach.
I was really lucky that I went right into college coaching after I was done with playing, and I fell in love with it for its own sake.
Coaching would lead Erin back to her hometown, where she would coach the women's team of one of MLS Next Pro's newest clubs, Chattanooga FC.
So I was the head coach of the Chattanooga FC women, which is in the WPSL. And that was an incredible experience for me. One, because that's home for me. Chattanooga's home. So it kind of felt full circle coming back.
My first impression of her was that she, first of all, knew the game very well at a super high level. Even back then, that was super clear.
My husband and I moved back to my hometown to help me recover, and I was really lucky to get into that community and become the head coach there. And the first year was really challenging. It was all local players. I had been coming back from this brain injury and only had gotten back on the field in time to get open tryouts. And they were the most amazing, bought-in, hardworking women. And I had players from 16 to 32. I had young mothers on the team. I had high school players on the team. I think we won one game that year. And that set the foundation for the next year. And the following year, we had not only the sport community, the Chattahooligans there are incredible, but I was able to recruit nationally, and we brought in top players, and we were able to make an incredible run and put together, but it started with that first year and this spark and love of the game. And one of my favorite parts about that is how many of those women have continued to play, they extended their careers, or even that they're now coaching. And I think that's a huge mark of success from that time.
She expects a lot out of her players. She expects a super high level of commitment and work rate and all those great qualities that you'd expect in a strong player. But at the end of the day, there's compassion there to where the players they always knew that she cared about their best interests. So even when she pushed them, it was from the right place, and everybody always knew that.
Erin also coached at Baylor School, a boarding school in Chattanooga. While on staff at Baylor School, Erin coached Darrell's oldest daughter, Zoe.
As a parent, whether your kid's in athletics or not, you want them to be around teachers and coaches who care for them as human beings first. I don't think anybody puts their kid in sports for any other reason than to have them mentored and nurtured. And I saw that as a parent. Erin is the kind of coach that you want your kid to play for. And then on the professional side, she's the kind of coach you want involved in your organization because of everything that she stands for, her level of excellence that she expects of, not only her players, but of herself. She's constantly been growing. You've seen that in the way her career has evolved.
Erin's time at Chattanooga FC is remembered fondly for her impact on and off the pitch. A coach of her pedigree will always draw the attention of U.S. soccer. In 2018, the U.S. U17 girls national team was preparing for the World Cup, and Erin was asked to help out. During that time, she met Luciano Fusco, a member of the Quakes organization, and Andreas Deza.
Andres was the girls director at the time and had worked with Luciano for a long time. And they were in a transition moment where Luciano was actually being pulled into the boys' side. And when we were on the trip in South Korea, Andreas had mentioned that he needed a coach, and he wanted me to come check things out. And my husband and I flew out, and we were really blown away by our visit that we had here. And it was amazing. So I came in, I was named the U19 head coach. I also took over the U17s, and I was also doing the goalkeepers as well. And it was a really special environment. We had so many top players in that group. We won a national championship with the 15s. We were the coach of the, staff of the year for the DA on the west side. I think it's been a really unique experience being the first female head coach for the MLS platform. Like that is something that I really am humbled by, and I don't take for granted ever. Like, having the opportunity here at the Quakes to coach at a high level on the women's side and then come in and coach at a high level on the men's side has been really special to me.
While inspiring others isn't what Erin set out to do when she began her coaching journey, her path has made her an inspiration to many.
Hopefully women see what I've been able to do and feel like they belong here, and that they see themselves there as well. And not only that, but that the young men that I coach also see that as normal as well. And I have a great relationship with the guys that I coach here, and I'm very, very proud of them. And it's very rewarding to be their coach.
Let's go. Together, guys. Quick on three. 1, 2, 3, quick.
I was really struck by a conversation I had with a parent that said, look, it's so important. You always hear as a woman, it's so important for women to see women, to see it, to be it. But I had a parent in Chattanooga, Tennessee tell me, it's so important for my son to see you. And I never forgot that. It really changed the way I looked at things, is that not only is it important for women to see other women doing things that they aspire to do, but it is important for young men to see that. And I take that responsibility very seriously as well.
Erin is vocal about more opportunities being afforded to women in sports.
I think the landscape has changed in that there are certainly more professional opportunities for women across the board. The level of professionalism on the women's side has been increasing exponentially over the last 20 years, and we're seeing huge gains from the way that women can use the platform to make a career out of playing and then make a career out of coaching. We're seeing how normal it is to see female referees taking the lead. We're seeing female strength coaches and female nutritionists, analysts. We're seeing lots more women involved in staffs. I would say that if you love the game, that there's a place for you. And when it comes to coaching, it's about giving back. I think that one of my favorite parts of coaching is that I know what was transmitted to me and the passion that the people that I worked with, that they had for the game, and I know what it added to my love of the game, and I hope that I can continue to pass that on. So my message to women is that they belong on the sideline, they belong in the game, and that they have a voice that is valuable. And I think too often when they don't see themselves there, it's easy to tell themselves that it's too much work or they probably wouldn't be welcome there anyway, and that's just not true. And that they have the power to write their own story and to be part of something that they get to set the path towards. And whether it's coaching boys or girls, men or women, I think that the most important thing that women can see is just to get started. If they love something, if they have a passion for it, there's a place for them.